Fountain of Youth opens with a pulse-raising chase in Bangkok. Archaeologist Luke Purdue, John Krasinski, disgraced but still sharp, steals a valuable painting from local criminals, only to be ambushed by Esme, Isa Gonzalez, and her henchmen who want it. Luke escapes via train, fighting hand-to-hand, using wit over brute force. He then surprises his estranged sister, Charlotte, Natalie Portman, museum curator in London who's stuck in a messy divorce and fighting for custody of her son, Thomas, Benjamin Chivers. Luke's thefts aren't random, they're all part of a trail left by their late father, Harrison Purdue, who was obsessed with the myth of the Fountain of Youth. He'd built a treasure hunt-style puzzle, 6 famous paintings each conceal clues, hidden by a secret society called the Protectors of the Path, who believe the fountain must remain secret. Alongside Luke are his loyal friends Murphy, Laz Alonso, and Deb McCall, Carmen Ejogo, plus patrons of the adventure, wealthy benefactor Owen Carver, Domhnall Gleeson, who claims terminal illness, promising Charlotte that success means she can secure legal support to regain custody of Thomas, and Inspector Jamal Abbas, Arian Moaid, the law on their heels for stolen art and international intrigue. There is also Harold Cross, played by another supporting cast member, Charlotte's soon-to-be ex-husband whose betrayal and past relationship with her father fuel her emotional conflict. As the plot moves from Bangkok to London to Vienna, and on to Ireland and eventually Egypt, each painting heist not only brings action set pieces, museum break-ins, library raids, underwater salvage on the Lusitania wreck, dangerous escapes, but also excavation of relationships, Luke and Charlotte's sibling tension, Charlotte's guilt over being left behind, Luke's compulsion to honor his father's legacy, even when it hurts. With each clue retrieved, the adventure deepens. Charlotte, initially skeptical, becomes invested not for treasure, but for truth, about her father, and about what immortal life might demand. They recover paintings such as Rembrandt's Head of Christ, and decode clues hidden in biblical texts such as the Wicked Bible, with Murphy's help, learning that the clues are musical notes, an ancient song referencing the 7 wonders, and that the fountain lies beneath the Great Pyramid of Giza via a secret passage recently discovered using advanced scanning technology, myography. Esme emerges not as a simple villain but as someone shaped by her beliefs, sworn to ensure that the fountain, with its potent power to restore youth, doesn't fall into hands that would exploit it, believing that humanity is not yet ready for such power. Owen Carver, despite his terminal illness claims, shows glimpses of duplicity. He funds the mission, but also arms mercenaries to secure the pyramid for himself. Along the way, the journey is expensive. Charlotte is fired from her curator position after Luke's thefts, Harold tries to wrest custody, Thomas is pulled into danger, and Luke's health, his relationships, even his moral compass are tested. Inspector Abbas pursues Luke and Charlotte relentlessly, sometimes in conflict, sometimes almost reluctantly assisting when the protectors interfere. Esme confronts Charlotte and Luke at every turn, library fight in Vienna with scarves and knives, puzzles in the Vatican, dangerous dives for salvage among wreckage of Lusitania, underwater ambushes, all punctuated by Luke's wry humor, Charlotte's frustration, and Thomas's longing for stability. As they near the climax, the pressure mounts. The team enters the secret passage under the Great Pyramid, dark chambers, traps, relics, symbols of ancient faith. They are opposed by Carver's mercenaries and by Esme and her protectors of the path. The confrontation is violent, Deb is wounded, Murphy fights mercenaries, Charlotte debates whether immortal youth is worth the cost. Luke finds the fountain room, its waters glowing under ancient stone, runes, and an aura of both promise and warning. Carver reveals his terminal diagnosis was false, he desires the fountain's power for himself, to extend life, perhaps to control its access. He demands Luke drink, but then shows the darker side, the curse that comes with the fountain. A drop of Luke's blood mixed with the water shows haunting visions, Charlotte and Thomas aging rapidly, their life force draining as his is restored, loss and loneliness as consequences of elevation. Luke refuses to drink, his wounds heal miraculously in another way, reinforcing that the water's magic is potent but not malignant if approached with humility. In the chamber, Abbas and Esme burst in, the struggle intensifies. Carver, in his greed and ignoring warnings, drinks. But because he cares only for himself, he has no anchor, no loved one to steal life from, and the fountain's magic consumes him instead. He ages quickly, deteriorates, Esme, using a key given to her by the elder of the protectors, seals the chamber, trapping Carver and the potentially dangerous magic inside. After Carver is sealed, the siblings and their team escape through treacherous ruins beneath the pyramid, with traps triggered, corridors collapsing, and the protectors chasing them. Deb helps Charlotte, Thomas stays close by. Luke, despite being shot in the arm, navigates through darkness, betrayal, and revelation. Esme, who believes in guarding the fountain, shares a moment with Luke, a kiss, a warning that their paths will cross if he continues seeking forbidden treasures, underscoring both attraction and ideological conflict. Outside, Abbas helps by pinning blame for the chaos on Carver, clearing Charlotte and Luke legally of many of the prior crimes of theft and pursuit. The physical journey ends, but emotional ones shift. Charlotte reconciles with her past with their father. She acknowledges that legacy isn't about what you find, but what you choose to protect. Thomas, shaken, gets a promise that their next adventure will be less reckless, more about knowledge than danger. Luke pledges to Charlotte that he'll help her find a respectable job and rebuild her life without endangering her or Thomas. The journey hasn't solved everything. Esme remains vigilant, the elder remains watching. There might be consequences for what's been unleashed and what remains hidden, including the seal, the chamber, and the knowledge of the fountain. In its final act, Fountain of Youth delivers both spectacle and moral weight. It doesn't end with the siblings obtaining eternal life, because the film clearly shows that immortality is not the ultimate prize. Connection, love, choice, and sacrifice carry more meaning. Carver's downfall shows that selfish ambition without love or responsibility is doomed. The relationship between Luke and Charlotte, once fractured by betrayal and distance, is mended not through shared blood alone but shared peril, shared ideals, and understanding of what their father really valued. Inspector Abbas acknowledges that laws aren't everything when truths are complex. Esme remains the protector, wary but respectful that Luke and Charlotte may have walked a right line despite missteps. In the lingering final moments, Luke, Charlotte, Thomas, Deb, Murphy stand before dawn near the Giza plateau. The camera pulls back on the sealed chamber, the ancient ruin, the desert wind blowing sand across stone, suggesting secrets still buried, paths still hidden. There's hope, for Charlotte to live fully, for Luke to treasure legacy over treasure, for Thomas to see parents who evolve. The quest for the fountain ends not with a sip of water or immortality, but with renewal of what was already precious: family, integrity, purpose. The film leaves you wondering, if you had the chance to drink, would you? And if so, at what cost? Because sometimes the real fountain of youth isn't magic water, but the choices that let us live younger in heart, mind, and spirit, even as years pass.